It's Selection Sunday, and I'm worried because they look for the NCAA, the selection committee, Joe Lunardi. They look for any excuse to disrespect the Canes. So I needed to bring our good luck charm on, and I needed to bring her back on. Hoodie Girl is with us. It's all about the U. How you doing, Hoodie Girl?
Good. Thanks for letting me sleep in a little bit today.
Yeah, that's right. Well, you know what? I figured selection's going to happen around 6. We could talk a little bit before that and, let this marinate a little bit while people wait to see the Hurricanes' fate here tonight. And so, all right, well, what are you expecting, Melissa? Because unfortunately, the Hurricanes losing that game to Duke apparently didn't help, even though we all know if Norchad Omier hadn't rolled his ankle in the first minute, Miami probably wins that game based on the way that it played out. But our old pal Joe Lunardi looks for any excuse he can to knock the Canes down a peg. So we're staring at a 6 seed right now in the projections.
Yeah, he knocked us out of the 5 seed, which I thought the 5 seed to begin with was super low anyway. But you're right. We would have won that game versus Duke had Norchad not got injured in the first minute. And I actually was arguing with Miami fans, actual Miami fans on Twitter, them saying like, "Oh no, Duke got really good since the last time we played them. We were gonna lose to them regardless." And I'm just like, look at the stats, man. Look at the stats. We were out rebounded, I think, 36-24 without
Yeah, that's
Norchad.
right. Yeah.
You got to add at least 10 rebounds going the other way if Norchad's in the game. And we only shot 8 of 26 from 3. And everyone's like, "Oh, well, why does that make a difference?" I'm like, without Norchad down low, the defense can extend out. Because no offense to Casey and Walker, but they're not Norchad Omier.
Not the same.
So our 3 ball was affected by it. We didn't get the rebounds that we usually get. We stayed in the game because we forced a ton of turnovers, but it's hard when one of your main players is out. I mean, he's such a big difference for us down low, and he's really the only guy down low that can make a difference. Like, we have Wong and Pack on the outside, and even Wooga. So if one of them goes down, I feel like we can kind of make up for it. But without Omier, I was driving during the game, so I didn't get to watch it.
Oh,
And
man.
I stopped to drop off my friend because I was coming back from Orlando, and the first thing I saw was the notification saying that Omier was out in the first
Oh,
half, and I was just like, "Oh my god!" I was too afraid to check the score at that point. By the time I got home, the game had ended, and I was just like, "Oh,
that was one of those
I was
things for
so
me
sad."
where I got home and I turned on the game literally like 3 minutes into the game. And then I'm like, where's Norchad? And then I'm looking on Twitter and then I see everybody talking about something happened. And I went back and watched the videos of him rolling the ankle. So that one was certainly really tough. But you talk about these Miami fans arguing with you. You got to be aware of these so-called Miami basketball fans because Melissa, I've noticed that a lot of these like Canes football fans are actually Duke basketball
Duke
fans. I guess
fans,
it's a
yeah.
bandwagon thing. So they're probably just pretending that they were Canes. So like if they have Canes logos on their Twitter, they're probably those weirdos who are Canes football fans, but Duke basketball fans.
They're not loyal at all to the brand. They just root for whoever. But yeah, I was ranting about it on Twitter. I was like, "Stop being a fake basketball fan. Don't tell me about Canes hoops when you've been watching them for 5 minutes and you probably are a Duke fan." I've seen way too many of it. So many people are Duke basketball fans and then root for Miami football. I was like, they're both ACC schools. Pick one or the other. Can't
Yeah,
have both.
that's right.
I actually grew up loving Duke basketball. I was actually a big JJ Redick fan because
Wow.
I was a 3-point shooter when I was playing
Oh,
basketball
okay.
growing up, and so I loved JJ Redick. But as soon as I decided to go to Miami, that was it. Duke became the enemy. There was no rooting for Duke basketball in Miami football. Heck no.
Well, that's good. And, I really hope for the Canes selection Sunday tonight. I hope that they can end up in a 5 seed, especially in Orlando,
In
because
Orlando.
if they were to
Yeah.
end up where they are now, so Lunardi has Miami 6 seed in Greensboro, taking on 11 seed Utah State, which would be certainly an interesting, difficult matchup. But, Coach L said it last week. His top priority is he wants the team to open in Orlando, right? He wants it. Obviously,
Yeah.
it's an easier travel for the basketball team themselves, and it's an easy travel for Hurricanes fans and fans across the state could go easily watch them because, if they end up in Greensboro hates Miami, right? I mean, no matter who they play against, even if it's Utah State, they may not have a lot of fans there in Greensboro, but all the other ACC fans who despise Miami will be showing up to root for Utah State. So we want to be in Orlando.
Yeah, and can we discuss why the ACC tournament is always in North Carolina? It's such an unfair advantage to the rest of the
Yeah.
ACC. There's like 4 North Carolina teams that are all within like 20, 30 minutes of Greensboro. And we have the ACC tournament there every single year. And it's basically like a Duke home game.
Yeah. Yeah,
Have
it
it
was
somewhere else.
yeah, because I completely agree. They should have that in Orlando. Why not? Or at least like in Atlanta or something. That's like kind of neutral territory. There's a lot of
Oh, Georgia
Hurricanes
Tech.
fans
But
in
when
Atlanta.
was the last
Well,
time
that's
Georgia
true.
Tech was good at
Yeah,
basketball?
and
So.
nobody would care. Like even the people in Atlanta probably don't care about Georgia Tech. Oh wow.
Or
So
like have it like move, have it in different places, like every year, do it somewhere else. Like do it in New York next year, do it in
yeah.
Orlando, do it in Orlando one year, do it in Atlanta one year, do it wherever. Like it's crazy to me that you're gonna have it in a place where there's so many schools. It's really not fair to the other teams. But
Yeah.
hey, Miami always gets snubbed. So
Totally. So, we don't know a whole lot about Norchad Omier's status for the tournament. And, obviously there's no advantage for Jim Larinaga to give us any hints as to how he's doing, right?
nah.
You're only giving potential opponents an idea of what they're in store for. So I gotta
Coach
hope
L's gotta pull a Mario Cristobal and not tell us anything that's going on.
yeah, that's right. Exactly. Exactly. So obviously, if he can't open the tournament, that would make things increasingly difficult for Miami. But if he does play and he's not 100%, how much concern would you have about the first game and the first two games? Because even if Miami can get through a lower seed, you're probably facing a higher seed in the second matchup.
Yeah, I was talking to people about it, and I said if Norchad doesn't play at all, we don't get out of the first weekend.
Yeah, I feel the same.
I mean, it depends on the matchup, honestly. If we play a team that's big like Duke is with their 2 7-footers, I can't see us getting out of the first round, or well, maybe the first round, but the first weekend in general. Um, it again, it just depends. Those ankle sprains are so tricky. I mean, I did something similar when I was playing basketball in high school, and I was limping around for like weeks. So I don't
Wow.
know. That was a long time ago though. So I don't know the treatment that he's gonna get on it and what they can do to keep the swelling down, maybe like a pain shot or something. But I would rather take Norchad at like 80% than not have him at all because he's such a big presence for us inside. We don't have anybody like him that can make up for that rebounding ability and just the muscle he provides. I mean, you saw it. Like we were out rebounded versus Duke by like 12, and I'm pretty sure when we beat them, we out rebounded them
We
by a
did.
lot. I don't remember the exact stats.
Yeah.
And when he's in the game, when we out rebound the other team, I'm pretty sure we've won every game this season. Maybe there's one outlier, but that's a big stat. And Coach L's mentioned it before. The rebounding, the offensive rebounding, the defensive rebound that he brings, you can't replicate that with anybody else on our team right now. So we need him.
The NCAA selection show is around 6 o'clock tonight. Do you have any sort of a superstitious ritual while you're watching it? I know you have some Hurricanes Hoops T-shirts behind you. Are you going to like burn any incense or make any animal sacrifices or anything, or to ensure the highest possible seed?
You know, I don't have a Canes basketball hoodie. Like, no, I don't have one that's
Oh,
just strictly because they never released them. All the
yeah.
cool hoodies over the years when we were in the tournament, the Adidas and whoever, whatever, they never released them. So I'm trying to think. I might wear my new orange and green, the two-tone sleeve hoodie. That I've only worn that once. That might be good luck, but actually, this is the first time in a few years where I won't be at work for Selection Sunday, so I can actually watch the entire show. So that'll be nice, but I'll probably just like pop open a beer and wait for us to get screwed.
That sounds about right. Yeah, to be honest, I haven't decided if I'm gonna even watch it live because I might just like go out to dinner and then my Twitter notifications will blow up, I'm sure. And I like to watch because they always do that. I'm not going to be able to be on campus tonight, but they always do the watch party with the basketball team on campus, and I
Yeah.
love watching their reactions. Because they're going to cheer no matter what. I mean, the NCAA could screw them with like a 9 seed, and they're still going to be cheering when they get selected. I mean, not that I'm expecting it to be that bad, but they're still going to cheer and go crazy. So I'm looking
I
forward to
mean,
seeing
even
the
if
live
we won the
reaction.
ACC tournament, we probably were still going to get screwed. I mean, we
Yeah.
won the ACC regular season and they still had us as a 5 seed. So I don't even know if they take into account injuries and how that works, but I honestly, we should have that 5 seed in Orlando.
Yeah,
That's my
that's actually a
opinion.
really good question. I'm not sure if they take that into account because the seed that you earn should strictly be based on merit as to what you've done to get to that point. But then at the same time, they can say, hey, if one of Miami's most important players is not going to be 100% or may not even play to start the tournament. Do we knock them down a peg? I hope that they don't take that into account because, I feel like, what they should be seated what they've earned to this point. So we will see how it plays out. But I can't thank you enough, Hoodie. And okay, let me ask you one more thing, though, before we let you run. If not Omier, if he can't play or if he's, let's say, just not himself, who else could you see stepping up? Because for me, I think Jordan Miller will become the most important player for Miami if Norchad's not 100%.
I mean, yeah, Jordan Miller is the most underrated player on our team. He does so much, and you don't necessarily always see it in the box score, but he's been such a dependable presence for us the entire season and even last year into our Elite Eight run. But if Omier can't play, then obviously we're going to have like Walker and KC coming in and taking those minutes down low. But Pack and Wong are really going to have to step up and make those perimeter shots, make those 3-point shots, and move the ball a lot to get other people open. Because without Omier down low, it kind of lets the defense spread out more because you don't really have to guard that inside presence. And the two of them need to be making shots. Again, 8 for 26 from 3 against Duke is not going to, even in the first round, that's not going to cut it in the NCAA tournament. So I just hope we play a team that's not necessarily humongous.
Yeah, so a little bit later on tonight, we're going to know who the Canes are playing, what seed, and where. Hoodie Girl, thank you so much for taking the time. Make sure you follow her on Twitter at @TheCoolerMelB. Enjoy your night, drink a beer, watch the Canes get screwed.
See you after the Final Four.
Yes, that's right. We will see you then. We'll talk to you guys again next time tomorrow on another episode of Locked On Canes, part of the awesome Locked On Podcast Network, your team